What's going on, everybody? I'm excited to be back. It's been a little while. I'm just checking out something real quick on my phone before I get it set up. Just bear with me for just a second. All right. I wonder if those links popped up. Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh well. So anyway, guys, I was trying to set up a couple of links to pop up that y'all can go and visit. That's what I was working on. Okay. So anyways, so I got a couple announcements before I get started tonight. So Scout Tech cellular cameras are literally having 50% off the whole month of September. And oh my gosh, you can't beat that. And if you need some more cameras, go ahead and now's the time to stock up on those. And if you use CSRA10 as your code, you get an extra 10% off, and that helps me out too. And I would really appreciate y'all to go and look for some, go shopping. About the giveaway update, I'm gonna draw the winner for that on September 12th, the day before opening day of bow season in Georgia. That's gonna be a pretty cool deal. Just follow the instructions. I got it highlighted on my main page to show you kind of what to do to enter into that. Wanted to give Georgia Hat Company a shout out. They got some really great hats, and go if you want a really good hat, you need to give them a call or go on their website, go check them out. They write some really cool stuff. Creek Bend Outfitters as well. He has some really cool hats. I wanted to give him a little shout out. He sent me some hats a while back. And a couple more. We got the Oyster Roast in October 9th, and we're still looking to sell some tables and stuff to that. It's gonna be some really cool stuff there. Getting auctioned off and everything. It's gonna be a really cool thing, and some oysters and stuff to eat on. So y'all try to join us for that, and you can check out all the posts about it on the Augusta chapter of Ducks Unlimited for more information on that. If y'all are interested in joining us on that, that'll be really cool. And still needing vendors for the Augusta Wild Outdoor Expo next year in March. If you're an outdoor business, any kind of type of outdoor, it can be bicycling, anything. Get with me and I can lend you to the right people, or send you to the right people to get signed up for that. Let's Talk Augusta. If you don't follow them, he's a good friend of mine. He has some really cool content that he puts out a lot around the area, showcasing people. So go give them a follow too. And if you're ever out around North South Carolina, Nice's area and all that, out that way, Whip Farms, if you're looking for some good feed, deer feed and all that, give my boy over there a holler. He'll hook you up. And last but not least, before we get started, I got a big announcement to make for everybody. So we're going to make a post about it here in a little while. But anyways, we're having a big buck contest. And I'm partnering with Redemption Outdoors. And it's for the whole CSRA, 18 counties. And the way it's going to work, we'll post all the rules and everything in the post later about it. But it's going to be the top 10 bucks from each county that will be scored at the Big Buck Gala is what we're calling it. So each county is going to have their own Big Buck Gala at a future date that we decide on. And so, like I said, stay in tune for that. We're going to be giving I'm going to be posting about, all the rules and everything like that, and how to get signed up for it and all that. So that's going to be a real big deal for the area. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. And Gary over there at Redemption Outdoors has already got a good following of people that already have been doing it for years. And then now introducing everybody that follows my page and has been keeping up with me from all over the area. Now y'all can get signed up, and having something for each county is really cool. So you don't have to get discouraged or anything. You see a big buck from another county, don't worry about it. You know, yours might be great. And you know, there's prizes for, you know, separate categories like kids and things like that. So stay in tune for that. So now I'm going to go ahead and get our guests on. So let's see here. See if I can't go up here. Give me 1 second. Unable to join because of a technical issue. It says you were unable to join because of a technical issue. And that was Mccutchen. So if you can hear me, it was wasn't accepted for some reason. I'll try and get it back on here. Okay, now it says it's at now. Now we just need to get on Julio. What's going on, man? You there? Hello? Can you hear me? Uh, I can't hear you. Good Lord, I'm so zoomed in. Can you hear me? My volume is up. I don't know what's going on. Let's see here.
There we go. Can you
All
guys
right.
hear?
I can hear somebody now. Who am I hearing?
That's Julio.
Okay.
There we go. Much better. I don't know why I had 7 o'clock on the calendar.
I had it originally at 7, and then I needed to change it to 6:30. It was,
Oh, okay.
yeah, a little bit
No,
better
that works
time.
out. Yeah, that works out perfect. Works out perfect.
I think we might be having some technical issues with Kyle, so I can't hear nothing from him. Oh, let me type him a message. Can't hear. See if that helps. Maybe it might be something he might be able to fix real quick. You doing all right this evening?
Doing good, man. I'm on vacation with the family.
That's awesome, man. I hated to interrupt that, man. I'm
No,
sorry about that.
you're good, man. You're good. Today was going to be a relaxed day. Let's see if we can get Kyle.
Hopefully we can hear him now. Can you hear us, Kyle? No?
Uh,
Oh, man. That's what I'm thinking if we can't get Kyle on here.
yeah, he might have the because he's on.
Yeah, I mean, I can see his face. If he can hear me, we can see his face. We just can't hear nothing. It says you have me muted. Huh. All right. Hold on a second. Uh, that's crazy. Hmm. I don't know.
Give me 1 second, Brent.
All right, you're fine. I'm trying to figure out what this is talking about, having him muted. I don't see. to fix it. I'm trying, Kyle, if you can hear me. I'll tell you what, Kyle, let's try this. Let's try going and starting over again and sending me another request, and let's do it like that.
I can, if you need me to text them, I can text them as well.
It looks like he got off. He must have heard me. All right. It says they were unable to join because of a technical issue.
Oh, nice.
Might have to try it one more time. Mr. Kyle, if you can hear me. Good old technology. Let's see if he sends me another request.
If you need me to text them, I could text them.
Yeah, you can text him if you want to. Just tell him I'm trying to get him back on. I don't see anywhere where it says I got him muted. That's really odd. Yeah, and they keep saying because of technical issues, he can't get on or something every time I try and click on him.
You want me to tell, is he logging in through?
I mean, I've seen him for a minute, so it was working. It was just something with the volume.
I told him to switch his page from, I don't know if he was signing in through his personal or through the tracking page. So I just told him to
Try a different page.
yeah, he says, I can hear y'all now. I could not while I was joined.
That's weird.
I know.
That's really weird.
Well, that would make sense though. Oh, because I know for mine it was confusing. I just needed to hit like join or something at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I mean, he beat me to it, so he should.
All right, let's see. I mean, I'll try the Mccutchen Game Recovery one more time and just see.
Oh, there we go.
About now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we hear you now.
All right.
Cooking with grease.
This will be. I don't know.
All right. You just got to move your camera a little bit facing up so we can see your face. As always, Facebook Live, for whatever reason, likes to zoom in on everybody's faces so much. There you go. Perfect. Yep. Oh, man, he's got a nice wall behind him. I like that.
Kyle's the big man.
Yeah.
I guess. You're good now.
Now I can hear him again.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you good.
So, Julio,
How you doing, Kyle?
doing good, man. How's vacation?
I'm a little tanned. If you haven't seen, I'm a little tan.
Yeah, it's
But
cold.
going good, man. It's been beautiful weather. We're over on St. George Island in Florida by the Panhandle.
Nice.
So
Oh, okay.
it's been real nice. No complaints.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to get away sometimes and unwind, especially before y'all get deep into the season good, I would imagine. Go ahead and take a little break now.
Well, Kyle's already started. I haven't started yet because
Oh, okay.
I'm in the upstate, so I don't start till September 13th.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I wanted to ask y'all, and I didn't know if y'all had talked behind the scenes or not, but like, so like I was telling Julio, so we're not talking over each other. Like if, when I ask something or whatever, if one of y'all want to kind of talk, or start talking first, and then the other one can, do it
Yeah.
like that if y'all want.
All right.
So, basically, I wanted to ask, how did y'all kind of get started in game recovery from the kind of beginning? Kind of take us back to how it all started.
You go ahead, Kyle, if you want.
Uh, about 10 years ago, there's a local man. He's still tracking. He's been tracking for a long time. But I called him one night to come recover a deer for me, and um, just watching his dogs and what they did kind of got me interested in it. And then he's become a real good friend. Watching him over the years, I decided it's something that I wanted to get into. And I've always been with dogs. So I ended up getting tracking dogs and starting to do it locally with family and stuff, and then it kind of grew, gotten bigger and bigger. So now that's what we look forward to every year, is going to recover people's deer for them.
I got you. What about you, Julio?
Oh man, I wish mine was as pleasant as his. Mine was a lot more embarrassing. So my journey started about 7 years ago, and I was hunting public land. I was on the same tree with my wife, and here comes out this beautiful 8 pointer. Would have been the most beautiful, I mean, biggest deer I would have ever shot on public land. And I shot, and I knew I made a good hit, but my inexperience, I couldn't find the deer. So I started calling around, and I mean, we couldn't even find this. I didn't even know this was a service. And um, I basically got frustrated and said, somebody has to be doing this. And then little by little, I met a gentleman that tracked in my area, tagged up with him, learned as much as I could. And that's kind of how now it's addicting. So like Kyle said, I mean, we look forward to this. Our wives don't. Our
Yeah,
wives don't look forward to this season, but we do.
yeah, I bet. Well, so that's pretty cool. The differences in the two of y'all stories on how it got going.
It's all different, man. It's
Yeah,
all, but it usually involves losing a deer.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Somebody's lost one some kind of way.
Yeah.
Now, where are both of y'all kind of centralized at? Like, where's y'all kind of hometowns at?
I'm over in the upstate, so I'm in the Easley area. I cover Easley, Anderson, so game zone pretty much 1 and 2.
Okay,
That's my heart. I don't leave that area.
gotcha.
I'm in the Midlands PD area. I'm in Bishopville, which is Lee County. I got,
Okay,
got game zones 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4.
okay,
I probably have a pretty large area that we cover on this side of the state. Um,
gotcha.
so,
Do you try and stick on 2, 3, and 4, Kyle, or will you venture out any further if somebody was to beg you or ask you or something, or really need your help or something?
now, I try to stick at a certain distance from the house. I mean, I've gone probably 80 miles before, but not
Yeah,
much over that. Especially when I get a bunch of calls in one night, I try to stay as close as I can and send the rest of them to other people.
that's true.
Track with us.
Yeah,
And
you bring up a good point. I mean, I thought it was quite amazing how close knit all of you dog trackers are. That's really cool, and I've heard nothing but good things about you guys and how close knit y'all are. So that's really cool. So like, if you got one in another area, or if you're like you said, you might be already on a call and get two more calls. You can just kind of
Right.
ask somebody else or ask one of your
exactly,
other, you know.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
our main role is, so sometimes it's a little bit that just within, if you look at it as South Carolina tracking dogs, it's this huge umbrella. And sometimes folks think that trackers work as a business, and it's far from it. Basically, the easiest way I can explain it is South Carolina Tracking Dogs provides a hunter with a list of individuals that know what they're doing. They've been vetted. It's not just anybody that just can go out there. It's not like this testing or anything. But then little by little, it started growing. And so we've literally become a family. I mean, we all know each other, and every year, more and more people join up as far as the tracking side goes. But I would have to say personality is the big one for the group, because we really do watch over each other and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to, in a sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. Y'all got the whole state being covered, I'm pretty sure then.
Vast majority of it.
Gotcha. Now, so I wrote down first successful recovery. So would y'all want to shine a light on that?
Is that first successful for the dogs or like for public? Because the first successful was for me. I shot deer and put the dogs on my own and see what they're going to do after being trained.
Yeah.
First successful for the public is a friend of mine shot a buck, and he called me, and it ended up being a liver shot. And he ended up jumping a deer a couple 100 yards in and backed out and called me and said, "You put your dog on it." And we ended up going about 200 yards, and the dog was sitting deer. We got there, so it was pretty exciting moment to watch him finally good after all the training. But I mean, we've had some pretty fun ones.
I got you.
But it was a walk in the park. But it was kind of nervous that night just because it was the first real live thing. So
yeah,
that's what I was going to say. That when I started, I shadowed a more seasoned tracker. The vast majority of my first year, but then it's different when you're not the leader, and then all of a sudden you find yourself out there and you're just trying to juggle so many different things. And so I remember I was nervous as heck, and Brian Goodwin is I call him my brother from another mother. He's the gentleman that started South Carolina Tracking Dogs, and he calls me and he's like, "Listen, there's a liver shot, and I'm like, "You sure I can take this?" And he's like, "You got it." So I went out there, and we had determined it was liver shot, so we waited a little bit. I used to run my dog on lead. I don't know if we should even get into that, but just I was holding a leash pretty much. And the deer was dead 600 yards, and it's so hard not knowing what's going to happen, whether your dog is right. That trust factor isn't really there, especially if you've never had, handled dogs in that sense. And man, you'll never forget your first recovery. Yeah. You'll never forget that.
Yeah. Kind of like getting a first deer, it's like shooting a first deer.
Exactly.
I would imagine, yeah.
Exactly.
What kind of work goes into, or let me ask you this way, like how long does it take to train a dog to be able to do the recoveries?
I mean, I don't, it's not that easy. It's not that I wouldn't want to answer it. It's just not that easy because a lot of it depends on the dog. The biggest thing I can tell folks is like, it's like growing up, right? So a dog doesn't fully mature until they're 2 years old. Does that mean that a 1-year-old or an 8-month-old or a 7-month-old can't find a deer? Absolutely not. I mean, it can find a deer. But once you get into that maturity aspect of it, the dog is more disciplined. It doesn't get distracted as easy. It can take tougher tracks, and tougher in the sense of, there were 5 different hunters searching for the deer. So, but I mean, you can get a dog to follow a simple line in, I don't know, what do you say, Kyle? I mean, pretty quick.
Pretty quick on a simple line. It also goes back into how much time you put into that dog. So, I mean, I got a dog that's getting ready to turn a year old, is running tracks now. I mean, like a 2-year-old dog, but it was every day since I got him that we spent time making tracks.
Gotcha.
And you can't. The more time you put into the dog, the more he's going to catch on. The more he's going to experience. The faster he's going to figure things out. It goes into a lot of different things with that training process of the dog. Um,
Absolutely.
so
Now, Kyle, I'll ask you first. Can you tell any kind of difference in the breed of dog? Like what works best for deer recovery? Is
yeah,
there any?
I don't really know. I can't say what works best. A lot of different breeds work really well.
Uh-huh.
All breeds work differently. Um,
Exactly.
for instance, Julio's running a blue dog and I run a lab. The blue dogs might bark on track, my lab doesn't. So I have to physically watch what he's doing all the time to know what he's doing. Versus a dog that opens on a track, knowing he's got the track, I have to watch his motions and his body language. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. Can't say what's the best. I mean,
I
there's
got you.
all kind of different breeds out there.
Yeah.
And I think that, when folks reach out to us and they ask us, I think the biggest thing is the breed depends on your household.
Exactly.
What can you handle, right? Do you have a family? How much time can you dedicate to the dog? Because, like Kyle said, it's very different going from a lab than it is to, I can even say a Belgian Malinois. The energy level among the two are just drastically different. It's just whether an individual can take the time to work a specific breed or not. But I mean, a Chihuahua will find a deer.
Yeah.
Is it going to be good? I mean, time will tell. But I mean, I've seen um, pugs and beagle mixes find deer. It doesn't. There isn't really the breed, and a lot of it has to do with the handler. I would say that's the biggest thing. I mean, the handler
Okay.
is what makes it. It's like I can give you a drill, but if you don't know how to use the drill, the drill's not going to be effective.
Yeah. I got you. I know one of my other episodes at one point, I guess it's kind of like this too. I was telling somebody I had a lab one time that, during duck season, she could go and retrieve ducks just like any other dog. And then I could also take her out and go shoot squirrels, and she was really good at treeing them and staying on one and smelling the tree. It was just amazing to watch her. So, I guess it depends on how much work you put into, like you saying, like training them.
It does. I mean,
A lot.
Leroy's a dove fanatic. He'll go treat doves all day long, and I can leave a dove field go track a deer. It's
That's
just
awesome.
what you want to put in them
Yeah,
is what. Yeah.
I got you. I was one of y'all's people. Um, is it Megan Garvin? Is that the
Yeah,
right name?
yeah. Megan,
Yeah, she has is she the one that has I'm probably
the
going to
the
butcher this, the
the Wei-
Weimaraner, or how you say
the,
that?
the Weimaraner.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
Weimar.
a
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a pretty dog.
That's the one.
Very pretty.
That dog just came back off the injury list.
Yep.
Yep.
Just made a first recovery off the injury list.
Yeah, that's what she was telling me when I made that post about it. That's what she was telling me, that it was injured or something. And she said that it was while it was injured. I think she said her husband shot a deer, and the dog was so determined to go get it, even being injured, it drug itself out there in the woods to go find the deer or go look for it or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Them dogs don't know when to quit, do they?
No, they really don't. They really don't.
Unless it's a not a miss. They'll
Yeah.
be quick on a miss.
Yeah. Now, what was y'all gonna say? What's your answer to this? How long after a shot can your dog still successfully track a deer if somebody calls?
This also goes back to that breed stuff. Mine,
Okay.
I have been successful a couple of times at 48 hours. After 48, we struggle really, really bad. The blue dogs and the blackbacks and the Walker dogs, they can go a little bit further than we can. Um, and it depends on the breed of dog. Now, it's up to the handler to know that. So if a hunter calls and says, "Hey, I shot a deer 2 days ago," then I have to, I'm not going to go out there and say, "Man, I'm gonna waste your time and my time." I'll try to pass it to somebody that I know that can go track that track. Has a better opportunity with it. And so,
I
but
got you.
Yeah.
about 48 hours.
Okay.
And I would say
What about
that's a little bit, and you'd have to say that's like in a vacuum, right? Because there would be a lot more elements that can control that. If you had a,
Yeah.
torrential downpour, obviously, it it's not going to work the same. You know, it would be a lot harder. And another big thing too is, I mean, it's rare we get 36 plus hour. It's not like you're going to get it every day. I mean, I hope not.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that a hunter would call us beforehand, because it just makes the job take a lot longer, and harder for no reason. We could have been
Yeah.
on it, and usually around that time, the meat's probably gone bad, and
It would just be for the rack, I would imagine, at that point. Yeah.
absolutely.
For that and the closure, knowing that the deer's dead somewhere or still alive, either one. Just the closer part of it. Hunter goes a couple of days not being able to sleep because he can't find his deer.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when somebody calls like that, they've already grid searched or had to put out there on it and all that before we get there. And the number one thing we hear is, "Well, I wish I'd have known about you. We didn't know about you." And that's one of our main goals, to get the word out so hunters will know about it before and not have to, wait that 40 call or find us or look us up online or whatever.
Exactly. That's exactly the reason why I wanted to have y'all on, man, because I think it's a great thing for the outdoor community to have y'all services. And so people can know if they're in any one of y'all's areas or zones that they had that happen to them, call immediately and try and, get y'all's expertise on getting their deer. Because some of these people, it might be their biggest deer they ever shot, or a first deer for a kid, or something that's,
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones.
That led me to, a minute ago, you led me to into another question that I had wrote down, was like, so weather, I can assume, definitely has an impact on that, on your answer a minute ago. Like you said, a torrential downpour, that would like wash away the scent, correct?
It would make it tougher. Now, rain doesn't bother us. It actually helps, right?
Okay.
So as soon as that blood starts to dry and it starts to get wet again, I mean, it just reinvigorates the scent for the dog, right?
Okay.
So now, obviously, if you get a torrential downpour, I mean, it's just going to wash every trace of track in a sense. But a steady rain or a light rain, we actually prefer that.
Okay.
We would prefer that. Just like tracking early morning, you get the dew on the ground, which makes it easier on the dog. Midday tracks are not the best for dogs.
They're tough. Midday and in early season and hot is tough.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It makes it tough on the dog.
I gotcha. So how far have y'all what was like the furthest track that y'all have ever had to track for a deer and actually ended up recovering it?
2.8 miles.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one like it was yesterday.
Wow.
I'm not that far. I'm at 1.7. Not that far.
Now were both of those, were they really hard tracks, like thick briars or anything crazy, or
Beaver ponds. I ended up going across the beaver pond and getting wet and decided I'm already wet. We might as well keep going.
I know that's right.
Mine was what ended up happening, and this happens a lot on calls we get. The hunter kept pushing the deer. So the hunter would jump the deer, it'd run another 300-400 yards, bent back down, they'd continue the search, jump the deer again. And I mean, you do that 3 times and you're at half a mile, I mean, past half a mile, right? So a lot of times those distance ones, it's not like our dogs are just flat out chasing these things 1-point-something miles. And the one I gave you, what ended up happening, the deer was jumped about 3-4 times. And I think it ended up getting jumped again because it bedded near a cow pasture. And I think that one of the cows kicked it up, and the last stretch was about 600 yards, and it was gut shot. So, it wasn't like it wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to make it.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious about that. I thought that was a pretty good question to ask, because I figured y'all had some kind of wild story about that.
There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of long distance tracks, and it's usually because of that. Because the hunter doesn't know, and they just keep kicking the deer just rather than just let it expire.
Yeah, I think and I think I've been guilty of that before. I think I lost a big one time. I ended up finding his rack a year later, but I made that mistake one time. I got too excited, I think, on a not so good shot, and I think I pushed a deer like that one time. So yeah, you definitely learn
It's
from your mistakes. It's a learning process, like everything in life.
we're all guilty.
Yeah,
Yep.
We're all guilty of that.
And that was 20 years ago. I was thinking, I don't know how many dog game recovery people
Hmm.
were around me. I'm sure there were, but I don't know if it's as big as it is now.
I
yeah.
At
agree.
least, at least in my area, anyways. How long has South Carolina tracking dogs been a thing?
Together, 8 years.
8 years.
Eight
Okay.
years, and I mean, but it really started to pick up. What would you say, Kyle? About 4 years, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. That's when it started getting known better. Was 3 or 4 years ago.
Exactly.
I got you. How many members do y'all have?
We
30.
have 36, 34 trackers around there.
Wow,
Yeah.
really cool. Do y'all have any like best way to ask this, like little friendly like competitions between all of y'all? Like who tracked the most deer successfully or anything like that for the year? Have any like a little things like that or no?
Um, no, it's actually less about the numbers.
Okay.
It's more about um picking people up, making giving, sharing, and this, that, and the other versus being I get more tracks versus
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
numbers really between us isn't important. Um, Now as a whole, like, we recovered 700. Was it 784? I think it was.
Yep.
As
Yeah.
a
Wow.
and that's more of a pat on our back, the competition.
Was that in one season?
That was last year,
Yeah. Last year.
24.
Wow. That's really getting it right there.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Congrats, man. That's really good.
thank you.
Um, I had that wrote down. What would y'all say the difference would be in drone recovery versus being with your dogs if you've got to experience that?
You want me to take that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Drone drones are a great tool. Okay. There's times I run with drones. There's times I run behind drones. Um,
Mhm.
I, I don't have anything against the drones. Um, but the replacement of dogs with drones, I don't. I think a drone, you have to look at every single deer that's there. And it's like a needle in a haystack. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna put the dog on a track, and he's gonna tell me exactly where that deer went. Not and whether the deer's dead or not dead, we're gonna find out, and we might find out in 5 minutes, we might find out in an hour, but we're going um small tracts of land like subdivision bow hunters and things
Hmm.
like that. Drone all day long. I can't run on a half acre. Unless that deer dead on a half acre, and the chances of that's pretty slim. Um, so that's what I refer drones to when somebody calls me and they say I got a 2 acre tract of land and I'm bow hunting in a subdivision. I say, hey, I got a photo for you. I can't help you, but I'll get you in touch with a drone. And there's several drones here. Matter of fact, I just had a conversation with one that we work together. I mean, he gets calls that is thick pine thicket or a cutover that he can't see in, he calls me. Or if I get a call, like I said, a small track, I'll call him. We'll pass them back and forth. Um, so they're a great tool. I don't see them taking the dog, replacing of a dog. I do see a bunch more people getting into the drones and getting drones and doing it. So I think it's going to be one cell phone. Everybody's going to try to have one.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the time, that dog's telling you exactly where that one deer went versus trying to see every deer on that piece of property.
Or hogs and any other thing that puts off heat, I'd imagine.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I would say I think the biggest difference is, and we can go down a rabbit hole on this. It's boots on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So a handler knows what they're working with, right? So for example, you might get a drone operator that doesn't know what bone means at a hit site, right? And a handler, since they're boots on the ground, they know what a bone usually means, that deer shot in the leg. Well, what is a drone operator going to do in that situation, right? So a lot of times we can bring more closure than a drone can. And I'm like Kyle, I used to tag team with another drone fella, and it was just amazing. I mean, and it's the same way. And I kind of compare it to even handlers, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
some folks track on lead. In other words, they hold on to a 20-foot leash, and other folks let their dogs go. Well, if we're just strictly talking about dogs and an on lead handler gets a call for a leg shot, there's no point in him taking it, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, he's never going to catch that deer. So all
Mm-hmm.
he did was collect money, and you just screwed the hunter. No, if you knew that, just pick up the phone, call an off lead dog, and say, hey, I've got a leg shot for you. The chances of that person recovering are significantly higher. But a lot of times drone operators, for example, don't understand the waiting period, right? If you got a gut shot deer, it makes no sense for you to be there in 5 hours. No sense. Because all you're doing is handing a hunter a picture of a live deer, right? So I think that, and it's actually gotten really well, and I'm happy they're doing this, where there's like the American Blood Trackers Association, they're actually offering like certifications for drone pilots. And I think that's actually pretty good. Like I said, we've got some really cool drone folks that we know, and then unfortunately we have the ones that are in it for the business. But I think Kyle summed it up perfect in the sense of that it's a tool where, you know, there's certain areas that a dog is unable to shine, and there's certain areas where a drone is unable to shine. But it's being sincere and knowing where that line is. You know, I think it's what makes it, right. Is it the actual drone, or is it the actual dog? Absolutely not. It's the handler or the operator, right? Those two tools are only as good as the person behind them, in a sense, right? So, but it's definitely something growing, you know, in popularity. I just wish it wasn't, which we deal with it with the dog guys, right? You get a person that's put a couple, you know, 2 or 3 tracks, and all of a sudden they've got a superstar dog that's a tracker, and they really don't. It's the same way with a drone operator. Somebody goes, you know, picks up a drone and now thinks all of a sudden they know everything and everything. It's the same way. But I would say,
I
you
add to
know,
that. I would much rather go behind a drone operator because
yep,
that don't stand at that truck and fly versus the buddy with the dog that went through there and went across that track 9,000 times that we have to work through.
exactly.
So so that's the hardest ones for me is the buddy's dog. You know, they call the buddy's dog as a pet at the house. That's, you know, you gone through there and walk all through the woods versus a drone operator that stands at the truck and flies and looks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He might have missed it because of a briar, but he's not messing up that
exactly.
track.
And
Well, it's really cool that y'all can still network and still come together to find, you know what I mean, to help each other out
yeah.
too. That's really
Right.
cool.
And I think the big thing too that I tell folks is, I mean, obviously, whether it be a drone or dog, we want to recover the deer. I mean, we all want to do that. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's the goal. But if you ask me, well, what's the biggest factor or thing people should be looking at is, like Kyle had mentioned it earlier, is bringing closure, right? So knowing what happened to that deer. And for example, a dog is able to take you to a property line and say, listen, we can't keep going. Your deer jumped this fence. We know what happened. But the drone guy has no idea that that happened, right? They
Yep.
don't know, they can't fill in that story for that hunter. And our job is to bring answers, right? Sometimes we leave with
Mhm.
questions as well. You know, I don't want to sit here and paint a picture that a dog is, you know, and whether it be a drone or a dog, they're going to leave a dead deer in the woods. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. I don't care how long you've been tracking for, you
Yeah.
will leave dead deer in the woods. It's just part of it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Y'all put some really good points there. That was really cool to hear that. I was just curious about that. I know this drones has kind of been like a growing thing, and I've even had a guy on from North Carolina a few months ago that was, you know, just had been doing it. I want to say about a year, and he had a bunch of good recoveries, and he was talking about it and all that, and he's also doing something called like herd management, I think, or something like that, like a herd
Mm-hmm.
analysis.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat too. I had never even, I didn't know that was a thing.
Great tool for that. You know, to go and find out your buck to ratio and what you got
Yep.
and stuff. It's great for that.
I mean, even like cattle, like big areas of land, like you can, make sure you still got all your cattle, I guess, and stuff like that maybe too.
We get a lot of calls over the also for lost pets.
Yes.
And those drone guys that we work with all year long, we just send them to them. Hey, there's a cow, a horse, a dog, and just send it to them. We
Yeah,
can't track pets, but
Nope.
that.
I got you. Got probably like a couple more questions for y'all, and then like I said, I was telling Julio, if y'all got anything that I've missed or anything y'all want to talk about, just feel free to go at it. But I was going to ask, do y'all have any like really funny or hilarious or wild moments that y'all would like to share that's happened, while y'all been out there doing your jobs?
Probably the hardest I've laughed on. I got a fella that tags along with me about every time I go. He's actually going to be my future brother-in-law, but he he's a oh he's not a big fella, but he's a stout guy, and he always walks behind me, and he's good at talking to the hunters and reading me while I'm paying attention to my dogs. So he's
Uh-huh.
been with me long enough that he knows what I do, and he can tell the hunter what I'm doing, so I don't have to do both. But he's always behind me. Anyway, I stepped across a ditch one night that's slam full of water, and the hunter stepped across the ditch. And then about the time I heard kaploosh, and I turned and looked, and he was neck deep in the ditch, but the ditch was only as wide as he was, so he couldn't. It was about 2 degrees. So I ended up picking him up by his bibs and pulling him out the ditch. And he was freezing cold and drug him out the ditch. And the hunter said, "Man, we could have walked down the road. The trucks was right there." And he's like, "Well, you couldn't tell me that." And I laughed so hard because he was perfectly in the ditch where he could not get out. Still today, every time we go around water, I laugh at him. I say, "You remember that night?" He does.
Shakes his head probably, huh? What about you, Julio?
Man, there's always something pretty funny, I guess, that goes on. If you ask me, when you say funny, are you saying for the tracker as a whole? Because like I've had a funny one where we end up jumping. I was early on in my tracking, so I was on lead. I had my older dog Smoke, and we jumped the deer, and I'm jogging pretty much behind the dog. It's ripping my arm off, and it goes into the swamp bottom. And the dog can goes, a good chunk of steps in front of me, but I'm jogging. Well, my weight, I sink to my waist in just a swamp muck.
Oh,
And I just didn't let go of the lead, and I face first into this mud. So the hunter wasn't with me, so I finally am able to get out of it. My frog legs are off. I'm covered from here all the way to my toes in just black mud. And the hunter's just looking at me like, what in the world did you just do? But a lot of times too, it's just the friends of hunters. Those are pretty funny. Like when they start ragging on the hunter, like if a
yeah.
hunter has to strip down and swim into a cold pond, you're pretty much looking for a good time of heckling that person to go get that deer in that pond.
Oh, you've had that happen?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, both of y'all did, huh? Oh man, that's pretty interesting. Okay.
I'm not stripping down and going in that pond.
I'll take you to the pond. You
Yeah.
Wow. And I guess that's, I didn't think about that being a thing and probably being very common, but now that I think about it, don't deer when they're injured kind of naturally seek out water sources? Is that a rumor or is that true or?
A lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
It's one of the first questions I'll ask when I get a piece of property is there water in a certain direction?
Yeah.
An idea, because I mean it's not always true, but a lot of
Yeah.
times they're going toward the water. And I haven't figured out yet if it's where the deer gets hit causes them to do that, or if it's genetic part of them. Because I say sometimes they don't. Sometimes the deer go the exact opposite way, but a lot of times they do.
Exactly.
And that's like goes back to my story earlier of that one that I was talking about that I didn't find until a year later. That's what it did. Was it was shot near water and ran one direction for quite a ways until I lost the track. opposite of of water. But where I found him ended up being like 100 yards or so, not even that far from me. It had did like a big circle and circled all the way back around and was 10 feet away from a spring.
Hmm.
So that's interesting right there. Before we close up, what do y'all charge for your services to let people kind of know what to expect?
It's different for all the trackers on the list.
Hmm.
Okay.
The trackers, they have their own. Some of them have rates. Some of them run off tips. It's different for all the trackers. Me personally, it's off of how far I have to go, and a lot of times I try to run either a set rate, or if it's somewhere close, I'll do a off tips. Um, it, it, the best way to find that out is when you do the initial phone call with the tracker and you have
Uh-huh.
questions. Go ahead and establish that. Because I mean, we get a bunch of calls. Julio's Day, we get a bunch of them that will set a rate that, say $100, and we'll get, yeah, I'm kind of tight right now, or I got a certain situation. A lot of those trackers on the list will work with you. They're not all going to, you, like I said, we're more about recovering the deer.
Yeah.
We're not in it to make bank. We're in it. You might cover our dog food or something, but other than that,
Yeah.
we're there to recover your deer and to give you that best chance that we can. Um, so best way to do that is the initial phone call. Just talk to the tracker,
Okay.
and they'll work with you.
I mean, yeah, and to add to Kyle, I think the biggest thing that we try to preach is speak to that tracker before you need them, right? So saving your phone, that person's know that individual. I mean, I don't mind if somebody gives me a call and it's just like, hey, I'm just curious, what do you charge? Because like Hal said, it could be distance. Well, if it's going to take me, 2 hours to get to a place, it's obviously, going to cost, if you base it off that, more money than somebody that might be 10 minutes away, right? Another
Yeah.
tracker that might be 10 minutes away. So, it falls into that balance. I think Kyle said it, some base it off distance. Others they just have a flat fee and they'll add like a recovery fee. Some go on just tips, right? It just
Yeah.
depends. Now, I could say, you know, we're not here to, like Kyle said, we don't do this for a living. I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really wanted to do this for a living, you're going to go broke. I mean, there's no way you make up enough of it, especially with how expensive gear is. I mean, but it's usually that. It's going to be one of those three methods: tips, a flat rate, or like Kyle said, it's based off distance.
I got you. Yeah, I was just curious. I figured people might be curious about that as all. Maybe some people that had never heard of y'all before, they might be thinking that right now. So that's why I kind of wanted to add that question in
I
there for
mean,
people.
I think the big one that we hear sometimes, it's well, I'm not going to call him. It's just a doe. And if folks only understood that, if I get a call to track a doe, I am more I'm probably more likely to drop everything that I am doing to go help that hunter out, because they don't normally call. Like they say, oh, just
Yeah,
the predators will eat it. And so those, it's quite the opposite. We'll get people tell us, oh, well, you don't want to track a doe. And it's like, no, our dogs, whether it has horns or it doesn't have horns, our dogs don't care.
right.
They're there to find a deer. We're the ones that put the emphasis on the size of the deer. But I think that would be the big factor of it.
I got you.
It's
Um,
if you pull
Go ahead.
the trigger on a deer, period, the respectful and responsible thing to do as a hunter is to try to whatever you can to recover that deer. Um, those bucks, it don't matter. I mean, there's guys that call us and say it's just a 4-point. I don't care. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a track. It's a deer that's laying out there, possibly going to die dead, and it's a track. One for
Yep.
recovery. Um, if in the most famous line that we all get is, "We find a deer, that's not the deer I shot."
it
It is. I mean, it's not
is.
us. It's just it's the recovery part and the closure part. It's not the we don't. I don't care what you shot. Just call me. Call
Yeah.
up. So
I was curious before I throw the ball in y'all's court for the ending here. I was going to ask, it just dawned on me. Do y'all's dogs wear trackers? Do y'all keep GPS trackers on in case so y'all don't lose them?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Gotcha.
If you don't, yeah, go, Kyle.
The old guy that I was talking about in the beginning that got me started, he used to run a cowbell, and that was the craziest thing I ever saw. He run a cowbell, and as long as that cow chiming, the dogs tracking that cowbell. You had your deer, and that's how.
Wow.
But now he's running trackers too. So, but yeah, trackers, and then like I say on lead. If I have to do one on lead because it was a small tracker, small territory or something, and
Yeah.
leads. But um, I try to get to the point now where I just pass those along to the drones that are around.
Mm-hmm.
But
I got you. Do y'all also have to be weary of like property lines and stuff like that? Like what's the deal with that? Like, hey, somebody's wondering out there, like, man, I shot this one, but it crossed over in another property, and say they might not know the property owner or something. Like, how do y'all work that out? Like, how does that work?
Know your neighbor.
yeah, the best thing I can do tell you is I try to start spreading the word in early July. Talk to your neighbors, get to know them. Don't ask permission to hunt the neighbor's property because they might not let, but just ask permission to recover on your property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of them, if you go and talk to them and start a good relationship, they're going to let you recover a deer on it.
Yeah.
And when I get to a track, I always ask about permission first.
Yeah.
Hunter isn't always going to be honest with you. They're all, a lot of times you tell by how they say it if they're lying to you or not. But I always, with our Garmin's, we can see property lines. So a lot of times I'll be on a track, see a property line coming, and hey, do you know such and such? And he'll, yeah, we're good, or yeah, I've already talked to him, or yeah, I know him, but we'll wait till I haven't talked to him. I'm not taking a trespassing ticket for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate to do that, but you talk to your neighbors, get to know them.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do.
I got you.
And,
I was
and
curious about that. I know. Anyways, I was gonna say I thought it was legal to try and recover, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess I thought that was it the whole time. But so you do have to have permission
You have
before you can.
mm-hmm.
there's been that rumor around that is legal to recover on wounded deer on property. It is not. You have to.
Okay.
I have had situations where I know the deer's dead. I know the deer's there, and I'm really good with DNR. And I called your buddy game warden and said, "Hey, I got a deer dead on this piece of property. He has not talked to the owner. Can and contact them and tell them what's going on?" A lot of times we end up with deer, not force or nothing, but DNR
Yeah.
says, hey, they track the deer on your property. Do you mind? And we get permission that way. But the
Gotcha.
easiest way to do it is just go out and talk to your neighbors before the season gets here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Do y'all have anything y'all want to shine a spotlight on? Give any shout outs or anything like that before we wrap it up?
I think the biggest one would be how to find us. God forbid, like I tell every person that I meet in a track, I hope we never have to see each other again, unless it's at a gas station or a supermarket. Because if you're calling one of us, you're not having a good day. But they're more than welcome. We've got a group page, South Carolina Tracking Dogs. You can go, SouthCarolinaTrackingDogs.com, and we've got the list of trackers there. Or we've got the list of trackers in our Facebook group, or they could even message in the group. But before we even get that far, I highly advise people to just know that now. You never know if you're going to need somebody. A lot of times we'll get well, I'm never going to need anybody, and then they do, and then they're behind the eight ball, and so those would be the biggest things. But aside from that, yeah.
Tracker app.
The app. Oh yeah, there's a tracker app. It's free. It's TRAKR. It's a free app. It was created by, I don't know if you've heard of him, Shane Simpson. He's over in Michigan. He has a huge YouTube channel for hunting. I think he's from Rock Hill, South Carolina. So he created this app for hunters to be able to find trackers. So like all the trackers in South Carolina and Georgia and Florida that are, kind of vetted that they're going to provide that service, we're all in that app. So a hunter is able to go in there and say, put in all the details, shot the deer, and then submit the track. And then the trackers get notified through their phone. The track has popped up, and then we can go in there and say, I'm working this track. And we get all the details. I mean, saves the hunter from having, and it's free. It's no cost to the hunter or the tracker. So that's a
It also helps on the tracking side to communicate. If we get one, say Facebook or anything like that, we have to kind of coordinate. When it comes to the tracker app, it's whoever's working it or can get to it can go, and we can all see that. We know, okay, it's taken care of. And it makes it a lot easier on the tracking side that way on the tracker app.
That sounds like a really good deal. I'm glad y'all brought that up.
So,
anything else?
I guess in preparation, because we're supposed to be starting to pop off soon. It would be for hunters not to wait for the last minute to call us. If you see that, some of the signs aren't looking good, we're never going to tell somebody don't go look, but you should be already reaching out to me and saying, hey, I might need you, right? Because what if you wait and then all of a sudden you call me and I go, well, I'm not available. And then call this tracker. Well, they're not available. Well, next thing you know, it's midnight. You might not find anybody. And now you're scrambling to the morning rather than if you get on my radar, I have you in the back of my mind that whether I can't help or then I'll go find somebody that can help. So just don't wait for the last minute till you're just completely helpless before, you give us a call.
Yeah.
That would be.
And add to that first part is grid search. I know everybody in the world does it. I've done it. Lose blood and start doing circles and trying to figure it out. Where if you can pick it up 20-yard circles or what. Every time that hunter goes across that track, it spreads that scent. So instead of running a straight line track, now I'm running zigzags left and right at 30 and 40 yards because every time you went across that track, you spread that scent 30 and 40 or however far each way. And my dog's got to work that out. To have a better chance at your recovery, when you're in doubt, just back out. Call the dog, and wait. Be patient. That's the hardest thing in the world to do, I understand. But just trust us a little bit. Let us get there. We can tell you what's going on, and let the dog work. Once you get to the grid searching part, that I can tell you just about every time we have a grid search because once we break through it, we're straight lining.
Exactly.
Just getting through that grid search kills so much time and works that dog so much. A lot of times it doesn't do any good to a hunter. So one of my biggest things is just back out.
That's some really good advice right there. That's really smart, and it makes the whole experience better for everybody.
Yeah, makes it a lot
and
better. Faster too. Yes. I mean, I had one last night was perfect example. Little girl shot her first deer, 6 years old. Daddy called me. They were still sitting in the tree, I believe. It was daylight. And he had said, she shot her deer. I said, how far have you tracked the deer? He said, 75 yards. I lost blood. I said, please just leave it. And shooting a caliber that is known for dropping, at the distance she was shooting. So I'm not sure if it's no leg shot or what we got based off of the blood. Just leave it. Push the deer. Don't mess up that. And I left and got there, and within 5 minutes, I timed it. We were at the deer under 5 minutes, and we had the deer drugged back to the truck from a 169-yard track under 20 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, just because he backed off and left it alone.
Yeah.
He went 75 yards, and deer was at 169 yards. So he was halfway. He backed off, and like I say, within 20 minutes, we were back at the truck taking pictures.
How about that? Man, you gotta send me those pictures. I'd like to post them if they want to share them.
I tagged your page in it. I'll send them to you, but I tagged your page in it this morning when I posted.
I'll have to go back and look, man. I get so many notifications. I'm
I
guilty of
bet.
sometimes I'll overlook one here and there.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
okay.
I'll get them to you if you don't. So,
Okay. Well, man, I appreciate y'all guys coming on, man. And I'll if I didn't do it already, when I get done posting, this I'll post to my page when I get done. And if y'all aren't tagged in it already, I'll go back and tag y'all's pages, and then
We
so
appreciate
that
it.
way, so that way everybody knows y'all's pages and stuff, and I'll help get y'all's names out there for y'all, man. Hopefully, maybe some people seen this, and can be some, y'all can be a help to them eventually.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it and we hope so.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, enjoy your rest of your vacation, Julio.
Thank you.
Put some sunscreen on that thing, man.
I know, man. I'm gonna start peeling. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all
All
take
right.
care, man. Good talking to y'all.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, man. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up this week, everybody. And I noticed whenever I was in the middle of talking, I got a text I seen pop up, and it said something about Buckmasters. So that's a pretty cool announcement that I get to make. Is Buckmasters is going to be at the expo next year. So that's going to be really cool to have them there. So heck yeah. And also, like I said, I'm going to be posting about the CSRA Big Buck Contest. Finally brought it to y'all. We finally got one for all 18 counties. And so get signed up. We're going to so I'm going to make a post about all the rules and everything like that here in a little while. And very exciting. So everybody try and get signed up. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all soon. Thank y'all.